Vipin, so what are we looking at? Are we looking at anti-incumbency? Are we looking at Jat votes? Are we looking at OBC votes? Are we looking at consolidation, or are we looking at splitting? What are we looking at?
Thanks, Neha. And I was listening to your opening remarks. I think what I believe is that this plan had been in the works for quite some time. But BJP has a tendency to spring surprises, certainly. For instance, yesterday only the Prime Minister praised Mr. Khattar very highly when he was opening that Dwarka Expressway. But apparently, this was planned earlier because there were definite reports, and from the ground reports also, that Mr. Khattar was personally, he was facing strong anti-incumbency. Even some of his ministers had problems with him and all that. But this is a move, as you rightly mentioned, that it has several aspects to it. One is that anti-Khattar sentiment that was there. Second is certainly, as you pointed out, is the OBC factor. Now, BJP has been doing it in other states also, bringing in younger leader and OBC as chief minister. And I think it is the 12th state, if I'm not wrong, where they've done this. And I must point out that Nayab Singh is the first time MP in the state, but he has been chosen because he's a younger leader and OBCs are about 40% of votes in Haryana. While Khattar represented the Punjabi community, which is much in minority. So I think it's a well thought out plan that you replace the chief minister who has been in the seat for about 9 years and not a kind of a lackluster performance, to be very frank. And then you have a younger leader coming in and all these changes coming in with OBC as, their main objective to get an OBC to lead it. I think a well thought out plan, certainly. And I think a lot of thought has gone into it. And I think election results will, of course, become later in. But BJP is apparently studied a lot of aspects to come to this conclusion.
Okay. All right. Okay. So before I go to Mr. Khadiyal, Tarinder Tayal, is this now a game plan which is repeating itself? We've seen this in other states as well. So when there is a whiff of anti-incumbency, and there are parties that have been going on to quote the survey that seem to have happened over the last few months, for the protests that happened in Haryana over the last several months, for that matter, that garnered headlines for being unprecedented in several ways. But that apart, the manner in which BJP is going ahead, is this, and I'm going to ask you the same question as well as the Congress, because I don't see anything wrong in this, but is this the appetite to win? Because you got in Mr. Khattar, and remember when he was brought in, one of the things that were looked at was to be able to influence the Jat votes. Very, very crucial. You barely had chief ministers in Haryana that have not had the Jat backing or have not been a Jat CM. So Khattar was brought in, the veteran leader was brought in with that in mind. With the JJP not working out, is this just another game plan to be allowing JJP to go and split votes further as you consolidate another section? Is this how the BJP is looking, as the Congress is claiming, or what are you looking at?
Yeah, firstly, as Mr. Pubby said, this is nothing new for BJP, what we've done, right? So, in fact, we heard Mr. Khattar, you played out the clip, where he said that we've been bringing in new leadership and we've got depth. So, we're not like the Congress. So, we've got a lot of depth and new leaders have to emerge, and new leaders are emerging, and we've done it in other states in the past and have done it very well. That is one. If you rewind 5 years, that time also anti-incumbency was being talked about. Khattar is on the way out, huge anti-incumbency, and BJP wins 10 on 10. So 10 on 10 was some incumbency. So let's understand the anti-incumbencies in the minds of some people who can't find anything else. The other thing, Arshpreet was very interesting where he says Congress is going to win all 10. I mean, even he doesn't believe that. I'm sure. And one wonders which Congress, the SRK or the Hooda? There are two Congresses in Haryana. So which ones are we talking about? They haven't been able to put their house in order, and here is a new CM who comes in, touches the feet of the earlier CM. No acrimony. Both are welcome. That is BJP for you. So then we have been talking about, I mean, he also talked about,
even while you're putting that bold face out, let me just ask you, is all well in BJP? I mean, the Congress would have got all over the board saying what it would have said, but Mr. Vij has not spoken a word. He seemed not happy as he walked out of that venue. He did not even address a word to the media. Why?
So that is better than the SRKs addressing the press conferences. So let's understand, rest assured, all is well with BJP. The other important thing which very wishfully the Congress has been talking about, and you've also spoken
Mr. Kharyal, let me get in, Mr. Kharyal. Mr. Kharyal, the same question that I asked him. So, even if you